Let me show you how your Muhammad Saab took care of his wife. None of us had more than a single garment, and we used to have our menses while wearing it. And she noticed blood and yellowish discharge from her private parts. This is not the period bleeding. This is istihada, spurting, leaking, pus, and blood.
Urinary tract infection. Anyone can have irregular uterine bleeding.
And let me show you how your Muhammad Saab took care of his wife. Bukhari 312. So is my screen visible? As I've already shown him the reference that she hated him. She hated him when he was having sex with her, and just because he says that he was taking care of her. So it makes fine to rape a 17-year-old just because you're taking care of her, right? Let us talk about how your Muhammad Saab was taking care of his wives, basically. Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 312. Aisha is saying, none of us had more than a single garment, and we used to have our menses while wearing it. Whenever it got soiled with blood of menses, we used to apply saliva to the blood spot and rub off the blood with our nails. He had so many wives. My question is, if he just had one less wife, he could afford so many panties for his wives. So many panties that their wives did not have to rub off their menstrual waste.
Okay, so this is what...
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
So menses, he's talking about the wives of the Prophet ﷺ. So, you know, they are living in the desert, and sometimes there's lack of water. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, and his family were boycotted.
Remember, folks, if you are boycotted, none of you can have more than a single undergarment.
At various points as well. They're engaged in war. So sometimes there is lack of water, lack of access to water, and poverty. And sometimes when you don't have water, then you still have to maintain cleanliness.
We used to apply saliva to the blood spot and rub off the blood with our nails.
Maintain cleanliness somehow, and sometimes you don't have any other option. So to attack the Prophet for this basis is a silly argument.
One of the wives of Allah's Messenger joined him in itikaf, and she noticed blood and yellowish discharge from her private parts.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Pus and blood, and put a dish under her when she prayed. So in itikaf, she was praying, and she had a dish plate under her private parts, which was basically spurting, leaking pus and blood, just because your role model couldn't control himself. If he just had one less wife, he could have afforded a lot of menstrual garments for his wives. This is how he kept Safiya, and this is why you think it is okay for him to have sex with her when she was 17 and she hated him the most.
So menses, he's talking about the wives of the Prophet ﷺ.
They're not talking about the period discharge. They're talking about the pus that discharged from that that wife's vagina in between her periods, because you cannot pray when you are in your period. Just to solidify that statement, this is the hadith just prior to that hadith. Once one of the wives of the Prophet did itikaf along with him, and she was getting bleeding in between her periods. She used to see blood, and she used to perhaps put a dish under her for the blood. The sub-narrator added, Ikrama, Aisha once saw the liquid of safflower and said it looks like what so and so used to have. So basically, while she was praying, he had put a dish under her for the fluid from her vagina to collect, right? That was not the period blood. That was pus. To confirm that, you can just Google what safflower is. It's a yellowish flower. And just to confirm again, your Rasulullah disagrees with you. In Sahih Bukhari, Hadith 320, the same phrase has been used. Fatima bint Abi Hubaysh used to have bleeding in between the periods. This is not the period bleeding. This is istihada. So she asked Prophet about it. He replied, the bleeding is from a blood vessel that has ruptured, or infected. So give up the prayers when the real menses begins, and when it has finished, take the bath and start praying. So the thing I'm talking about, the disease that I'm talking about, that the Prophet's wives got because of not having
women
more than
have
one
irregular
panties.
periods. Are you just a virgin in your mom's basement? Do you not know about women's health?
Why don't we just let's give Hindu debates a chance to finish that sentence, and then we'll go
Bro,
to Daniel.
safflower colored discharges during irregular periods. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Safflower,
You don't know what?
Right.
You have no
yellow
clue.
discharge.
For having ancient Hindu plastic surgeons, you know very little about women's health.
are the irregular periods, period discharges yellow in color? Like, let me just.
Yes, it can be. Yes, even during the regular period, it can be yellow just discharge. Ask ask a female
again,
friend. Ask your extra virgin girlfriend.
All right.
Ask your
It is
extra
so
virgin
irregular.
girlfriend.
Extra
Ask
week.
your extra virgin girlfriend about her.
Are the irregular periods from the broken blood vessels? Please tell me that, because Rasulullah is saying that discharges from the broken blood vessel. Rasulullah said that. Those are not period discharges.
We gotta go to the closing statements. I hate
Three-
to do this,
20.
but otherwise I know this is just gonna keep going.
It's abnormal uterine bleeding. It's a medical condition.
From
But,
the
like,
broken vessel,
Anyone
blood
can
vessel,
get it. Yeah,
from the
anyone can
infected
get
blood
a
vessel.
urinary tract infection. Anyone can have irregular
Exactly.
uterine bleeding.
None of us had more than a single garment. Whenever it got soiled with blood of menses, we used to apply saliva to the blood spot and rub off the blood with our nails.
Maintain cleanliness.
And she had a dish plate under her private parts, which was basically spurting, leaking pus and blood.
Maintain cleanliness.
Fatima bint Abi Hubaysh used to have bleeding in between the periods.
Maintain cleanliness.
Brother,
Yeah, everyone, even in the
That
modern
is a
world.
disease you get when
Yeah,
you
everyone-
wear the same panties throughout your
Dude,
monthly
look at this
discharge.
guy.
That is the problem.
Mind is in the gutter.
Move into the
This is like his critique of Islam. It's nasty.
312 is in the
Dude.
gutter.
5 minutes.
Let's do-
5 minutes for Daniel, and then 5 minutes for heated debates. Oh, also, yeah, folks, that poll in the live chat is one of our most voted polls. I think it's got like 4,000.
312 is in the
Dude.
gutter.
Get to check that out at Modern Day Debates live stream right now. That's there.